March Madness is here. The NCAA Women's Tournament is kicking off right here in the Midlands. It's a big boost for Midlands businesses. Meanwhile, NIL rules have injected big money into the college game. Right now, we're taking a look at the impact of the tournament and make some predictions about the road to the championship.
As the excitement of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament tips off, Columbia once again in the national spotlight. The city is hosting some of the first and second rounds of March Madness, bringing thousands of fans to the Midlands, and y'all with them a major boost to the local economy. But beyond the games themselves, events like this are part of a bigger strategy to put Columbia on the map as a destination for large-scale sporting events, conventions, and of course tourism. And today we are sitting down with three people who play a key role in making that happen. We have Columbia City Manager Teresa Wilson, Hotel Trundle owner Rita Patel, and Scott Powers with Experience Columbia SC Sports. My friends, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, so I have to ask you, what does this mean for Columbia to be hosting some of these games?
Well, it's the excitement in the air that, you know, it's contagious. And obviously that means tourism, visitors, it's exciting. But it's also such a wonderful thing for our community, for our citizens who are here every single day. We love our women's basketball team immensely all year long.
Yeah.
And during this time of the year, we have the opportunity to really continue those strategies of growth and development that we are working on very intentionally in our city. It makes such a difference now, though, for our residents to know that the growth and development downtown is also that energy that creates opportunity for the communities we serve, for our citizens. You know, when we have this energy, we have people who want to come work here, live here, stay here to play. And with that, that means we need more housing opportunities. That means more focus on the neighborhoods to make sure that we have the right elements for quality of life that people are looking for. So it all works together. It's all part of the strategy, and we're going to ride that train all the way until we, you know, continue to put Columbia on the map even more than it is already.
Absolutely. I'm saying choo-choo, all right? So being able to host some of these games, I mean, it really is an honor. It's a very competitive to land that. Scott, talk to me about what you think made Columbia stand out.
Yeah, I think first of all, you have to start with Coach Staley. She, you know, as much as she's appreciated and loved, you know, I think 20 years from now, people are going to look back and think, how in the world was this powerhouse of a woman in Columbia for this long, this successful, and brought so much to our community? She means so much to basketball in general. So just the power, the presence that she has puts us already on the map. And then we have a wonderful arena. You know, we've led the nation in attendance for a decade or more. So when you talk about success on the court, success off the court, the arena, the downtown core, the hotels that we have, the walkability of the Vista to Main Street, you know, the University of South Carolina's campus is all right there. I think what we can bring together is a wonderful package that allows us to host these type of events.
Absolutely. I mean, the capital city really is a jewel. Now, speaking of jewels, I think money, and we want people to spend some money this weekend here in the capital city. Rita, as a business owner, talk to me about what you think the economic impact is going to be for hotels and restaurants and local businesses here.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we have a big sporting event or any significant event, we have people flood the city. And every time they come from our guest experience, they see something new, something cool that's opened up, and it encourages our drive markets to come back to Columbia and continue to visit our city. And it's just lovely. If you ever want a dopamine hit, come to Hotel Trundle around check-in time on Friday. It's just the best. People are so excited to be in town. People are excited to see the women's basketball this weekend, and it's just really great to be a part of that. They see all of our wonderful restaurants, and they're popping up all the time you know, and so I'm so excited to be a part of that too.
Absolutely.
What would we do without our small business owners, if I might add that,
Thank you.
Whitney? I mean, they are the heartbeat of our local economy. And, you know, these opportunities, when we have events like this, I think they probably see at least 20% increase in their sales, which is so deserving for them, right? Because they're working so hard every day. So having these events really gives them, you know, an impetus. It's infusing even more into our local economy, and so we appreciate that for them.
Yeah. And I think one of the our local businesses are what make Columbia so incredible, right? Like,
Absolutely.
just piggybacking off of what you're saying, as somebody who was raised here in
Yes.
Columbia, seeing all of these incredible local businesses, I mean, it makes my heart so happy.
too. Yeah.
And it makes me say, I'm proud to be from here. The way we support our
Yes.
local businesses, it's so beautiful. Now, we talked a little bit about this earlier. This is going to put Columbia in the national spotlight. Scott, can you talk about the importance of having that national exposure for Columbia?
Of course. It goes way beyond the economic impact. I mean, you know, we got 5 teams. We had a first 4 game last night, so that people came into town earlier than normal. Instead of having 4, we have 5. I expect visitor spending to be $1.5 million or so. But that we're on ABC. You can't buy that. You know, you can't buy that earned media. We're on national television again, which we have been a lot because of Coach Staley. But people pay attention, not just in the basketball world, but when we're hosting BMX or when we're hosting tennis or soccer, lacrosse, roller derby. They see events like this, like Rivals in Red, some of the larger events. What they do more than they have the impact, they show other people that Columbia can host these type of events, that the Columbia region has the hotels, has the restaurants, has the corporate base, has small business owners who want to be a part of it. Every time an event like this comes around, my phone blows up like no other time. Scott, we've got these teams coming in. What can we do, you know, to help welcome these teams? Something that other people can't replace and can't compare with us is the friendliness of the people in our community. We love the community. We want to welcome people here. And it's not just about them spending money. We genuinely care about people, and we want to see them come into our community, have a great time, and then when they're on spring break or vacation, they think about going to the museums or going to the zoo or enjoying Lake Murray or the Three Rivers. There's so many things to do. So giving them that exposure to what Columbia has to offer pays dividends that we could never be able to afford to spend.
Yeah, it really has a ripple effect, because those folks that are coming in that haven't been here today could be a corporate manager that's like, wow, I love this city. We need to bring our groups back here. Or someone that's planning a wedding. Like, Columbia's amazing. Why don't we get married at the museum? You know, so you never know where it will lead. So having all of these fabulous people come to our city as our guests has a really big impact.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, I'm like, once you get to know Columbia, once you get to know her, you love her, right?
Yes.
It just draws you in. Ms. Wilson, okay, talk to me about what other large-scale events you would like to see come to the capital city in the future.
So it's timely, you know, to have this opportunity with the NCAA tournament exposure. But what that does, it really lends itself to conversations that we're already having with our business community, with our elected officials, with private investors, developers, as we are really creating the framework and the footprint for what we want to see happen. And we're right there. We're at it. You know, there's a lot of things going on, so many opportunities for growth happening right now. Just this week, I'm so excited to have this opportunity to talk to you today, Whitney, because it's going to underscore some conversations we've been having this week with elected officials and business community about the riverfront. So there will be a lot more as to, like you're asking, what are we seeing on the horizon? What more do we want? That right there the Three Rivers, the Congaree Riverfront District project that is becoming such a reality now, those conversations this week lend itself to elected officials and others, because we're talking about opportunities to fund this major project, but they get it. They say, well, when we get this, things like the NCAA tournament, it'll be happening right here. Like Coach Staley needs to be able to play here throughout the whole tournament. And so that's a national draw, a national pull by us investing now to finally get that project in and of itself done. It will pay dividends down the road for us to create more hotels. You have to have the full service hotels, and we have about 5, but we need to get to probably 10. There's about 3 more in the pipeline right now. So we're getting there, and Scott knows about this because I'm speaking his language. But those are the things, when you have a fully activated riverfront, it'll be so easy. An expansion of our convention center, more restaurants, more recreational opportunities. And these are things with a park on the riverfront, hopefully, that is open to anybody, all aspects of socioeconomic status. It is free and open to the public. When you look at Finley Park, just as an example, and how many people and families are out there every single day, the scale of the riverfront to do something like that, but have those same similar amenities, but times 10, this is where we're going. And I just feel blessed and humbled to be a part of it, but it takes all of us working together, the public sector, the private sector, philanthropic individuals who want to give of themselves for things like this. We're thrilled like it's our time.
Oh, for sure. I definitely feel like it's our time. As you're talking about what's on the horizon, I'm just getting more and more excited because it's going to be so incredible. So I'm going to wrap up with these last 2 questions. The first is, how do you want our community members, people who live here, who work here, to feel about the fact that we are hosting such a large-scale event and will continue to host large-scale events? Because the first word that comes to mind is, I'm just so proud. So proud.
Yeah. Proud is definitely, that's exactly the word that I was thinking. As, a Columbia citizen, I am so proud of our city. I'm so thankful to our women's basketball team and Coach Staley for representing our city the way that they have, and being our crown jewel and giving us the opportunity to shine. So we're taking that opportunity to show everyone what we have to offer, and I'm grateful. Grateful.
I love that. What about you, Scott?
I think our community, they want to be a part of these events. And I know that they will see the Clemson fans that are coming into town and wearing their gear. They'll see the Gamecock fans wearing their gear, Southern Cal, Southern University. So that's the thing about sports. The passion that sports brings, unlike other aspects of tourism, that passion is visible on the faces of the visitors when they get here, and the ability to interact with those, whether it's little cheerleaders in their uniforms that are at the convention center on the weekend, being able to see them in the community and say, how are you doing? How was your competition? Thank you for being here. They always do that, and we're very proud of our community. And this is a sports community and has a passion for sports and enjoys hosting events like this.
Absolutely. And I love that you talked about the way that sports brings us together. I did an interview with Coach Staley last year during the Final Four, and she said what's so beautiful about sports is it doesn't matter what your socioeconomic background is, your race, your religion, where you fall in line. Like, when it comes time for a game, everybody really just comes together and is cheering for is cheering for your team. Exactly. And so that's one of the great things about Columbia being such a big sports community. All right, so our final question, and I'll leave this with you, Ms. Wilson. What do you want visitors to take away after they leave Columbia? What do you hope they say about our beautiful city and really the Midlands in general after they spend some time here for the tournament?
Yeah, I think that Columbia has always been a welcoming community. I just think that now people will come here and maybe feel, and I'm hearing this already, that we're sort of taking it to the next level. You know, they're ramping it up, and that they are putting the time, the energy, and being intentional about the experiences that people have when they're here. Visitors for sure. But again, I always come back to our tried and true, our ride or dies, our citizens, our residents, our business community. I want them to know, whether they're visitors or they're here every day, that I want them to have a trust in the governance of the city, in our partnerships, in the fact that we are so invested now in doing it right, making sure that this opportunity for growth, because you have to be intentional. We want it to be sustainable. We want it to be, that public safety is still at the forefront, and that people know that with this growth that we are experiencing around us, that we're doing it in a way that everybody is included, that's inclusive, and that people want to be here and have, work here, live here, play here.
Absolutely. All right, my friends. Well, you have heard it. Columbia is incredible. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. Columbia is absolutely incredible. But what makes this city so special is you all, the people here, the small business owners, the people who work here, the people who live here, the entrepreneurs. You guys make Columbia absolutely incredible. And what I'm so excited about is the fact that this is really just the beginning for Columbia. And so if you see a visitor, or to all our visitors out there, welcome. And for everyone who lives here, y'all, the best is yet to come.
Thank you for watching us here on WLTX Plus. We are talking March Madness with Elijah Campbell and Preston Thorne. 2/3 of the early game machine, heard every morning from 6 to 9 on 107.5 The Game. Guys, thanks for coming in. This is a great time of year for a college basketball fan.
Oh, it's the best time of year for a college basketball fan. You wait from, November in the early practices. You go through all the non-conference stuff, conference slate, to eventually start playing the ones on neutral floors. And this one is the one that is the most fun. It's my favorite, 3-week stretch of the year?
Preston, I actually DVR'd the CBS Selection Show just to go back and watch everything and breaking down everything. Try to get some kind of intel with a bracket. What about you? I mean, you're a football guy. He played football at South Carolina.
I am self-proclaimed football guy, but I do obviously love tournament time, man. And it's the best time of the year because you get the chance to fill out your brackets. You get a chance to see who's who. You learn about some new players that you never heard of before. New schools you never heard of before. Where's Oakland? It's not in Oakland, I found out. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are really fun when you get into this time of year.
I'm going to tell you my favorite, worst March Madness story. I'm about to go on the air 2 years ago, about to do my sportscast, and I had Arizona going into the Final Four. And this was and JR, right before I go on, says, oh, by the way, Arizona just lost. And of course, and that was in the Sweet 16. And I remember physically doubling over. It's like, I can't believe that. And then they're like, hey, you got 20 seconds. So I had to pop back up, force myself. And then I was like, you got to be kidding. I was just, it's unreal. What is can you remember how many brackets have you had busted? You recall any of those great moments where you think you had it? I mean, I was thinking Arizona, Final Four, here we go. And,
Oh, I've had so many of those. I think the most egregious one that's happened to me would have been, I think it was 2010 or 2011. It was the year Austin Rivers was at Duke. And I had them going to the Final Four, and Lehigh, a 15 seed, ends up beating them in the first round. That one completely shattered my bracket. And then, about maybe 6 or 7 years later, I had Michigan State winning the national title. And a day after, I get accepted into the school that they played in the first round, who was a 15 seed, knocked them off. That was maybe the most conflicted I've ever felt, was my bracket is busted, but it's busted by the school that I just got accepted into. So that was maybe the most conflicting, and it absolutely ruined it on day one of the tournament.
I'm going to go to the other way because my best memory is the lure of teacher bringing the TV into the classroom. But I'm from Somerville, and I guess it was 94, 95 when the College of Charleston made the tournament those years.
John Kress
and all those schools.
Great guy.
Those were our teams, man. And I still know those players by name, going to see those games and seeing them play Wake Forest. They ended up losing to Wake Forest, but Randolph Childress, they had some guy named Tim Duncan. He's all right, but but that is probably my peak March Madness memory, is rolling the TV in and watching the College of Charleston play.
Last year, if Houston wins, I win a nice little bracket contest here at WLTX, and all they had to do was get a shot off in the last possession and try to get something. And 2 possessions, Florida's defense, and I was pacing you know how much I love NASCAR. I was pacing more watching that because, I mean, you know, you get the competitive juices flowing. And it was just so when Florida comes to town, I was just like, I just have that little pit in my stomach. Just
Little
like,
PTSD, a little sports PTSD there.
Looking ahead to this week, though, Duke, a number one seed, the number one seed, but they're kind of banged up, and their point guard situation could pop up much like it did a few years ago in Greenville when Frank Martin and the Gamecocks knocked them off.
It certainly could. I don't expect to see Caleb Foster at all playing in this tournament. I mean, he broke his foot in the North Carolina game, the last game of the year. They're really not optimistic at all to get him back at any point, and that's big because he's a 6'5" point guard in a lineup where he starts. Everybody is 6'5" or taller. They switch actions all over the place. They're about as good defensively on ball as anybody is in the country. When everybody's that big and good defensively, there's no such thing as a matchup problem for him. So that's actually a pretty big loss. And then, you know, Patrick Ngongba too, the center, also out. Like Duke is still like a heavy favorite for a reason. But if you are looking for any type of hesitancy to not pick Duke, you have your reason on a silver platter with Caleb Foster being hurt.
And Preston, we have Duke and North Carolina going to Greenville. Both are banged up, but obviously it's going to be a great atmosphere up there at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena with those two Blue Bloods making a relatively short drive.
Yeah, so you know it'll be packed and everybody will be there, and obviously we'll get the chance to avenge the regular season. And what I can't figure out is which ones matter more, because I guess that was 2 years ago where North Carolina was able to take Coach K out at home and then ended his career in the tournament too. And I don't know if it can be any sweeter than that. So Duke is on the hook. They have to avenge that loss.
Who is your surprise this year, do you think?
My surprise is Wisconsin. I'm
saying Wisconsin.
I'm really high on Wisconsin for a multitude of reasons here. Usually, like a lot of these surprises come outside the top 3 seeds. If you're a top 3 seed, you're at least expected to get to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. Wisconsin's a 5. Played in the hardest league, I think, in college basketball in the Big Ten. They have multitude of wins against some of the nation's best teams. They won at Illinois by a good margin. They're the only team to beat Michigan at Michigan this season. They beat Michigan State like a drum at home. They beat Purdue at Purdue. So, like, they've got wins over some of the best teams in college basketball. They shoot a ton of threes. They're one of about 10 teams in college basketball that shoots more threes than twos, and they make about 38% of them. Oh, and their 2 guards, too, maybe the best backcourt duo that no one around these parts have heard about. But if you've heard the name Nick Boyd, it's because he was a starting point guard at Florida Atlantic on a team that went to the Final Four. So they have experience, great guard play. They shoot a ton of threes, they make a ton of threes, and they don't have a glaring weakness.
What about you, Preston?
So Elijah has texted me with the team with Arizona, and they match all the things I love in a basketball team. They play hard defense. They don't shoot a lot of threes. They control the tempo of the game. And so I've been sort of watching them this year. They won the Big 12 championship. So I'm excited about Arizona and wanting to see how they compare. Unfortunately, I think they're going to have to run up on these dudes. So they're in the same bracket. So we'll see how that turns out.
I remember what Arizona did to me a couple. Again, we just go
Are
back.
you just offering them? Are you offering them totally?
I might roll with St. John's and Rick Pitino. I might roll with the Godfather. See if the Johnnies can get it done. He is Preston Thorne. He is Elijah Campbell. We can hear him every morning from 6 to 9 on 107.5 The Game. The captain of the ship is not here, Jen Jensen. If you're watching, Jen, hello. You know, there are plenty of basketball fans in the area, and this time of year, those fans really have a lot to be excited about. And we thank you for watching our March Madness coverage here on WLTX, WLTX.com, and WLTX Plus.
Fans.